in the distance, if you zoomed in with a camera, what you're doing is opening up this angular size, right? So here we go. We have a flat horizon, right? So here's the sky is meeting the water, but as I zoom in, all of a sudden we can see there's a boat there. Okay. And that's because we increase the angular size. Now watch, this boat's going to disappear from the bottom up because these little waves right here in the foreground are going to block the boat because the boat's getting smaller and smaller. Yeah. And it disappears and melts into the horizon, and it's absolutely gone. Now a glober go, oh, it's over the curve. No, it's not. I just showed you. We just zoomed in on it. Right? It can't be over the curve. Right. And then the other thing is the horizon is an optical thing. Here is Skunk Bay, no tide here. And if you watch this beach and watch the buildings over the course of the day, just difference in humidity and temperature, like the buildings disappear, the beach disappears, right? This isn't a tide. This is an optical thing, right? So one of the globe, top 10 reasons we know the Earth is a globe, because you could watch the sunset, and then when you stand up, you can watch it again because you're changing that's just perspective, right? That's just perspective. If your buddy's on the other side of a fence and you're below the level of the fence and he walks away, he's going to disappear behind the fence. But if you stand up, you can see. You can see his head again, right? Yeah. And it's all an optical thing.
So if whatever shape the Earth is, surely with all the hundreds of years of discoveries and scientists and everything like that, surely there would be someone that would go to the edge or to prove this. Because I know, look, I haven't got a clue on any of this. Is there? But it seems to me there's a lot more science about us being a globe than there is being flat. Now, you may disagree with that. Are there scientists and experts that are agreeing with this?
Well, there's no science that says it's a globe. There's just scientism. Well, the experts
What's the difference between science and scientism?
Scientism is just made up nonsense. There's no proof. It's a conspiracy theory, right? Okay. There's no proof. Every test for axial rotation or curvature has proved no rotation and no curvature. Every test throughout time, and they hide these scientists that have done these experiments over time. And they don't hide them. The Michelson and Morley, Airy's failure, the Sagnac experiment. They do light. They do all different experiments, all different ways. You can look these things up, and they all prove the opposite, but they won't tell you. So, if we talk about scientists, let's look at what some scientists say. So, you know who Michio Kaku is, right?
No,
Michio Kaku. You've seen him. Let me see if this is his picture. This guy.
Oh, yeah, I'll know him. Yeah.
Yeah. And so his quote basically says, if we're off by a factor of 2 or 10, it's horrible. He goes, but there's something wrong, but we're off. Scientists are off by a factor of 10 to the 120th. That's 10 with 120 zeros. Do you know how big 10 to 120 zeros is?
Big.
No, big. That's, you can't describe it, right? 10 to 120 zeros, a trillion. So 1,000 has 3 zeros. Yeah. 1,000,000, 1,000, no, 100 has 3. 1,000 has 3 zeros. 1,000,000 has 6 zeros. 1,000,000,000 has 9 zeros. A trillion has 12 zeros.
Yeah.
So 12 zeros versus 120, right? Yeah. So 1 trillion seconds. I know those of you listening to this that are hearing this every time, it's important. I'm never going to give this one up. How long is 1 trillion seconds?
I don't know.
Come on, take a guess. And if you guess it within a week, I will give you a Bitcoin.
1 trillion seconds.
1 trillion seconds. Don't do the math. You just have to guess. If you guess it within a week, I'll give you 2 Bitcoins because Bitcoin's down right now. It's like 30,000.
5 days.
Whoa. Close. 31,000 years. Okay.
That's a shit.
1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years. That's 12 zeros.
Well, I'm checking that.
Okay, you check it. You check it. A billion seconds is 30. Sure? A billion seconds is 31 years. 1,000 billions is 31,000 years.
I was crap at maths.
Yeah, well, but you were never taught to deal with big numbers like that. They teach you, Polaris, our North Star, is 433 light years away. Do you know how ridiculous that is? You know how absolutely insanity it is? Good.
So what is it that you want to get from this then, Dave? What is it do you want more knowledge out there? You want people to understand more? You're trying to get the message out there? Do you see what I mean? Because you're always going to be up against it. You're always going to be fighting the battle.
I disagree. It is going so fast right now. So many people are learning about flat Earth. If you Google flat Earth, you're not going to get anywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
This is my app. It's the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. It bypasses all of YouTube's, Google's algorithms. Because if you Google flat Earth, you just find their anti-flat Earth stuff. Yeah, right? Yeah. They are petrified that people are going to find out about this. What flat Earth does is it wakes you up to the reality that we are at the center of creation. We're not corkscrewing through an infinite space. An asteroid isn't going to take us out. We're not running out of food, water, land, resources. All of that stuff is lies to keep you in fear. False evidence appearing real. Fear. Okay. Fear, and I talked earlier, I said that we only use 10% of our brains is what they taught us. That's the 10% they want you to use to be a good worker slave, accounting, algebra, right? Just business management, marketing, right? They want you in that, to be a good little slave. The other 90%, which all flat earthers use, are your creativity, your imagination, your connection to nature, your connection to source, your true power. Your soul is constantly trying to wake you up to this, but your mind, which is being controlled, steered by the news, north, east, west, south news, okay, is steering your mind, keeping you in fear, right? I'm going to tell you a little tidbit. Nuclear bombs don't exist. Right. Lawyer. What about Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Right. All I got to say is Crow 777 Radio, 2 hours in crow.com, episode 054 and episode 400. The greatest thing you could ever do. And then you'll know anytime you hear a politician or a newscaster say nuclear bomb, you could literally laugh and every soul in your body, every cell in your body will rejoice. Like when you hear nukes, every cell in your body is like, ooh, we better do something about this Ukraine situation, or we could end up in a nuclear war. Nukes don't exist. Think how that changes your world. Okay. All of this is fear. All of the separation is fake separation. And they're trying to separate us more and more and more. Right.
Do you think that's why it's getting more popular? Like you said, there's more people getting on board. Is it? You think because people are going against the grain now? I think people have had enough of people in power that lie, right. And I think so. That's definitely going to help your cause, isn't it? Because people are getting a lot of, sick and tired of politicians, and I know you've
absolutely. But there's a shift that's going on. We're changing ages right now, and there's a shift in the energy, and people. This is the apocalypse. The apocalypse means the lifting of the veil. Everything is being shown. And for those with eyes to see and brains to think, we're being shown. The movie The Matrix is a documentary. Keanu Reeves. It's a documentary. The heliocentric system.
The new one's pretty shit.
Well, the first one. I'm talking about the first one. The heliocentric system is The Matrix. It is a prison for your mind, right? It has you locked into this. This is all there is. We didn't even get to what could be beyond the shoreline of Antarctica, right? So the heliocentric model has you locked into this where we're running out of oil or dinosaur juice, as they say. Nonsense, right? We shouldn't even be using that. We're running out of land, baloney. Every family in the world could live in half of Australia, okay, and on an acre in half of Australia. or whatever the calculation is.
Yeah.
The world, there's infinite water, there's infinite food. You know, you stick a seed in the ground, water falls from the sky, and food grows out of the ground. We're not running out of anything. We're running out of intelligence. So how is it a prison for your mind? Well, what if we lived here? This is where we live. Here's Europe, United States, South America.
Yeah.
This ring is Antarctica. And then out here, there's more oceans and more lands. Okay.
Why wouldn't we have explored that by now?
Because of the Antarctic Treaty. No one is allowed to go to Antarctica, right? If you try to go to Antarctica, you'll be stopped by force. If you go, you only go to this little tiny island right here. And, this is it could be a couple thousand miles wide, right? Or 10, who knows? Maybe it's 10,000 miles wide before we go out here. But think about this. Think about the words. More land. What's another word for more? Extra. What's another word for land? Territory.
Yeah.
Terra. Yeah. Extra. Terra. If somebody lived out here and came to visit us in here, what might we consider them?
Extraterrestrial.
And where did they come from?
The Earth.
The outer space.
Right. I get you.
So this is scientifically possible, right? Where people, traveling across the Earth plane, more land, more people, they probably speak English. Okay. Right.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure. But
because that's your belief.
I'll tell you why I have a belief in that.
It's not proven.
I'll tell you why. Quick, go into the app.
Will.
In my app, this is the friend finder. And
they telling me an app's going to tell me about
no. Well, no. This is how you can find other people near you. All of these blue dots are people near me. The ones that have little people in them, that means they filled out a profile. And I could look at their profile. I could send them a message.
Because remember what we said at the start of this interview, where you said, "Believe." You're telling me that.
I'm telling you, and as I said, and I always say it,
correct.
Everything beyond the shoreline of Antarctica or above 72 miles is speculation. But we can do experiments that show us these things. But this is a way to find people. Where are you located?
UK, right in the middle.
Okay, so we go to United Kingdom. Where is it? UN. There you go. United Kingdom. And we go over here and let's see if there's any flat earthers near you.
Oh.
Ready? Well, when it takes a long time to load, that's because there's a lot of flat earthers in there. Here we come.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Go to the Midland. Yeah. Zoom in on the middle.
Like here?
Down a bit. Because you've got Scotland. That's it. If you zoom in there, that's where I am around there.
Yeah. So these are other people.
What's the orange?
The orange means that they're new within 60 days. The blue, so if they have a profile, they have a little head in there. And then there's other things where they'll change different colors depending on how active they are. But
what's the app?
Hold on. I can send a group message. You could say, all right, I'm going to select people within 50 kilometers, I'm going to go back to my location. And if I hit the group, I have within 50 kilometers, 367 people. I could send a group message. Hey, we're having a meetup at the Joe's Bar and Grill, Saturday, 4 p.m. Nice. Boom. We just did it in New York. We had 60, 70, 80 people show up.
Cool.
And then you could also send, private messages to people. But if I go on the bottom left right here on this little number counter, these are the number of people in it. If I tap that, this brings me up a world view. If I want to kind of just go around and don't want it to load, I could zoom in.
Flat world view.
Yeah. I could see what's going on. Here's the UK. Yeah, you guys are getting pretty good over here.
Look at that. Right? Wow.
Amazing. It's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Everything can be found at flatearthdave.com. You can scan this. If you go to Google, Google Play, for Android, there's already a fake one out there that they're going to try to deliver first. If you get that, don't send me an email telling me my app sucks, because it doesn't.
Because it's not yours.
It's not my app. Mine is by Blue Water Bay. You can't miss it. FlatEarthDave.com. All the links are there.
So what's the future then, Dave? What are you hoping for in the future?
The future, I'm hoping for people to wake up, because when everybody wakes up, and it's going to happen so fast, right? The one video is going to go viral, and just everyone is going to wake up overnight. All governments fail. It won't be pretty. All governments will fail. All religious institutions will shut down. All the school systems will shut down, right? And everything will reorganize, and then it'll be a new free world. Here's the reason why. They don't want you to know that you're at the center of creation. They don't want you to know that you have total control over your life. They don't want you to know that no one has control over you other than in your imagination. They don't want you to know that there's infinite resources, that there's no problems. They don't want you to know that energy is free, right? Yeah. They don't want you to know all of this stuff. They want you to be a good little slave. Some evil people took over the world not that long ago. Okay. We're talking like 100 some odd years ago. Okay. Like in the 1800s, there was an advanced civilization here. If you go into the more resources page on the app, and you go to the Tartaria Flat Earth button, which is, where is it? Right here. Boom. Yep. Mud Floods Tartaria. You hit that, up come a playlist of videos that will blow your mind, showing you how fake our history is. You didn't like history? You know why? Because it's all lies. Watch these videos and you'll become a history nutcase. I mean, you'll love it so much.
So I always ask my guest, Dave, what bit of advice would you give someone then? If you were speaking to someone now and you could say sort of in a sentence, what bit of advice you would give someone? What would it be? Don't believe anything I said.
Go verify this stuff yourself. Okay. Right. If you, and the app is, by the way, the app is $3, right? If the app also has some premium features, you get the friend finder, but you can't send messages unless you subscribe. The subscription's $11 a year, but you don't need to. If someone sends out a message, hey, we're having a party at Joe's Bar and Grill, they'll probably include an email address in there, and you don't need it. But if you want to send messages, if you want to use the Dark Sky Weather app, which is literally the best weather app, no commercials. And if you want to look at profiles and fill out a profile, you have to subscribe. It's one margarita a year. Okay.
So what was the advice you said there was, don't believe what I'm saying.
Go verify stuff yourself. Don't believe known repetitive liars. Right. The point I was getting at in the app, on the books page, you have this book here, The Iron Republic. This was published in 1901, and it's about a politician that sold everything, bought a big ship, crew, went to Antarctica and found a little inlet, got lost. They were lost at sea for a month, and they found land, they found a city, and then a boat came out and met them, and they're like, where are we? They're like, you're at the Iron Republic. And it was an advanced civilization living there. And the story was that these people came from the inner Earth, where we are, inner space, in the 1600s, because they didn't like the tyranny that was going on, and they left. Imagine that tyranny in our puddle. Okay. And the story rings true. But here's the thing, whether it's true or not, in 1901, they were talking about more lands beyond Antarctica. Okay. Yeah. Right. So here's the thing. This is the advice I give you. Get the app, and every day there's a new video right here. Watch this, tap this thumbnail, watch the video every day for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, if you think the earth is a globe, send me an email, info@theflatearthpodcast.com with your proof, and you win 3 Bitcoins. But before you do, you have to hit the frequently asked questions button, right? You go to the frequently asked questions, make sure your question's not answered there. It is. Okay. And then you'll be like, whoa. Right. And once you see all of this, it will change the way you operate in this world. Right. Everything changes when you realize that you're at the center of creation, and that you have a lot more power than they want you to realize.